7 creative ways to slash your costs of retirement. Get them out. Get them out. Number 1, thrift stores. I love thrift stores. I must get 85% of my clothes at thrift stores. I love thrift stores. Now, I live in Los Angeles, so we've got tons of great thrift stores. You might be in an area that might not have, that many thrift stores, but if you can find a good one, I'm telling you, man, it's saved me so much money over the years. And I love coming back and showing my girlfriend afterwards. It's like, hey, look at this thing here. I got it for like 10 bucks, and I really did at a thrift store. What is it? I don't know, $50, $60 sword, whatever it is, Game of Thrones, whatever, man. It slashed my retirement budget. So thrift stores, number 1. Number 2, and this might not be for everyone. I was thinking about it and it really wasn't for me, but think about renting out a room, especially if you've got a big house, 3-bedroom house, say 2 bathrooms, and you live alone. Rent out a room. You could make some good money that way. Especially if you're lucky enough to have like a guest house or something, instead of just, having it there for when relatives or friends come over, rent it out. You can make some pretty decent money, and that would really cut back some of your housing costs in retirement. Number 3, and this is something my girlfriend and I did a while ago. It really saved us a lot of money. We went to Banff in Canada, maybe about 12, 13 years ago. But we knew we wanted to go in August, so we made our reservations way back in February or March, I believe. And we were lucky enough to be able to stay at the Banff Springs Hotel, which is something I never would have, paid for just in a regular vacation, because the rooms were like about $600 a night. We were lucky enough to get it because we planned way ahead for I think it was about $290 a night. That saved us a ton of money. And it allowed us to experience something just amazing. It's like a castle. It really is. If none of you have ever been up to Banff in Canada, you got to go. You're in a wonderland. It's really amazing. So, number 3, travel. When you travel, try and get it off season. The weather might be worse. Let's say if, might be colder, might be warmer, but you can get some really good deals. Number 4, cashback credit cards. I currently have the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, and it is giving me 5% back on groceries. 5, that's huge. Especially since I moved up here to a rural area, there aren't many avenues to eat out. There's some, but you get tired of the same old place after a while. So I go to the grocery store all the time. It's saving me 5%. It's giving me cash back, 5% on all my groceries. That's huge. Also, and this isn't that big, but it'll give me 1.5% back on all other purchases, which includes dining out. So those of you who like to dine out a lot, take advantage of a cash card or cashback credit card. It can save a lot of money for you. Number 5, when you're doing your investments, whatever it is, there's going to be fees attached, okay? Now, if you're going through an investment advisor who's handling all your investments, as I talked about in an earlier video, try and find someone for like 1% at the most. But if you're not going through an investment advisor, get some financial products that do not charge you a lot of fees. What I've done over the last 20 years is I go through target date retirement funds. I had one at Vanguard and also one at Fidelity. It was charging me 0.08. The other one was, I think, 0.07 percentage points fees. That's very, very low. You could find some other ones that might be charging more, like 0.5%. Now you're saying to yourself, okay, but yeah, it's all below 1%. Is it really going to matter that much? It all adds up, guys. If you're talking about over a 20, 30-year retirement, all those fees add up. So when you're looking at investment vehicles, make sure you find something that you're happy with. Got to be happy with it, of course. You're not just going to say, okay, I'm going to pay 0.03%, but I have no idea how these investments are going to work. Do your research. then look for ones that have very low fees attached to them because it can really add up over the life of retirement. Number 6, and this is something I've never done before, but I'm actually thinking about it, growing my own vegetables. I live on just a little over an acre of land. The only drawback I have, though, is I live in the high desert. So I don't know how successful I would be doing this, but you know, you're in retirement. You've got all the time in the world. Experiment. It's something to experiment with, right? Grow your veggies. That would save you so much money on a monthly basis. Something you might not have thought about before. I never did. Then I was like, you know what? Why don't I give it a shot? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, hey, at least I've tried it, right? Number 7, and this one can kind of be time consuming and a little bit tedious, but try what I did. I started doing this about 6 months ago, is I started keeping track of every single expense I had. Every little thing I was spending money on, I was keeping track of. I did it over a 3-month period, and what it did is it allowed me to find those little things that you're spending money on. Like for instance, I was spending what was it, $4 a month on a subscription service for leads for temporary writing jobs. I've been doing this for 6 months. None of the leads panned through. So I looked at that, I'm like, out, not dealing with that anymore. It's only $4 a month, but I found a couple of those, okay? Those add up. Now, you're probably not gonna see any like big ticket items that you didn't know about on your monthly expenses, but if you have the diligence to just do that for like at least a month, preferably like 3 months, so you can kind of get a, you know, good cross section of your yearly expenses and then kind of average it out. But I'm telling you, you're gonna find some stuff you either forgot about or just didn't even realize you were spending money on. So that's called a bottom, as I've talked about in videos before, bottom up budget process. And it's allowed me to find a couple things that I just forgot about. So, you know, there are a lot of ways, guys, that we can just look at ways to cut costs that you might not have thought about before, you know? And all these things add up in retirement because, again, all you're doing is you're spending your nest egg. Unless you have something on the side hustle, whatever it is that's bringing in a little extra income. If you don't, it's going to be even more important to find out every little thing you're spending money on and how much you can cut back. Okay, so those are my 7 ways for cutting costs. And yeah, this is my big thrift store purchase. Pretty nice, huh? Makes it easy to shave sometimes. You know, I gotta sharpen it a little bit. It's not bad. Anyway, cut those costs, guys. Cut them. You gotta do it now. You'll really appreciate it in the future. So anyway, if you like this video, please consider subscribing and like the video. And remember, guys, we got this.